It's almost September, and that means first day of school. It's already passed for most people. Certainly in this part of the world, I think schools have been starting up in the U.S. as well, it being the last week of August. And traditionally, I think of school starting in September, but I imagine, yeah, it always started around August for me growing up. I remember my very first day of school, my very first day of kindergarten, and right before that, my mom took me out to buy clothes. And so I got some nice new clothes, but the shirt that I chose had black and white thick stripes on it. And she asked me why I chose that pattern, and I said to her, well, it kind of feels like going to jail. Honestly, knowing that I'm going to go somewhere and be busy all day for the next 12 years, I mean, that was kind of a heavy, hard pill for me to swallow, and I knew exactly what that was when I was 4 years old or 5 years old or whatever. I missed just hanging out, playing with my mom, watching cartoons, running around in the garden, or like staring at my neighbor's German Shepherd through the window, or messing with my brother's stuff when they were away at school. Like, I really missed that. I thought it was like a jail sentence, and I remember it was my last day of class in graduate school, and I thought I'm never going to school again. And I wore a striped shirt as well. Now, that's kind of a cute, innocent story, I should say, but it's a bit different now because I just saw this new high school, and this is from the Washington Post, is being designed now to cut back on casualties from mass shootings. And this is in Fruitport, Michigan, a $48 million high school that includes curved hallways and half walls to protect students. And this is a very weird article. It even goes in and shows a picture of trenches in France during World War I and how they had zigzags into them so that it would reduce the number of people that could get hurt by gunfire. Also this year we've seen bulletproof backpacks go on sale, which is, I don't know. We are living in clown world. It is completely insane to consider this. And if I had kids, I don't know if I'd even let them. I don't know if I'd even want them in public school. That said, there is a lot that people do learn. There are valuable skills that people pick up on in the public school, like socializing and all that, as well as the drudgery of, yeah, you're expected to go somewhere and be busy all day for the rest of your life. No thanks. That's it. New high school will have sleek classrooms and places to hide. Okay, so this kind of reminds me also when I was in high school. This was back in the days of Doom and Duke Nukem, and if you were a little bit computer savvy, you could design your own maps. And so me and my friends used to do that, and we'd make our own maps, and we'd play with the games and all that. It was pretty fun, and it taught us a little bit about computer programming, even though that I'm not very tech savvy at all. It didn't become my interest later on. And that's exactly what the Columbine kids were doing too. They were making weighted files. Those are the files for Doom, that first-person classic shooter from the 90s. And I don't know if they ever made a map for their school, but there were talks of making school maps. We would joke about it and all that. I would even design maps based on my house, when I was a kid, the house I grew up in. I would rebuild that and all that. It became an architecture thing. It became like a design thing rather than thinking about, okay, if this were a school, who would I shoot, and so on. But now, look at what we have. We have construction designed to reduce the number of casualties in a shooting. It's a deliberate architecture, which I find interesting. I've always liked deliberate architecture. You go into supermarkets. And supermarkets worldwide, I just find them the most soothing, relaxing places. People think I'm crazy because it's like a chore, when you're a kid, you're bored there, but I've always enjoyed the AC and the gentle music and just people bumbling around not knowing where they're going, because that's how they're designed. These supermarkets are designed to keep you just milling around and not in any hurry, not in any sense of urgency. Whereas like McDonald's or Burger King, they have everything bright yellow, everything loud, flashy, because they just want you to eat your damn food and get out. Look at casinos. Oh man, if you've ever been to the Vegas Strip, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You go into casinos and they are designed in such a way that you don't want to leave, you can't leave. Even, was it in Caesar's Palace or Paris? I forget which casino exactly, but the ceiling was sky blue with clouds on it. So even 3 in the morning, you thought it was just during the day. It was really weird, really disorienting. But I mean, those are to make money, you know, just as like the whole panopticon, the idea of a prison where you can watch every prisoner. I mean, these are very utilitarian forms of architecture. And to see how classrooms are now incorporating this whole idea, well, we want to make it less likely that there is a shooting here, or that if there is a shooting, we create all these obstacles. I don't know if it's sick. I don't know if it's a smart idea. Fact is, it's something. You know, if we're going to have public schools anyway, if we're going to make kids go to these dangerous environments where many of these kids are, you know, we have boys raised without fathers, without male role models, being taught mostly by women, often being put on drugs, having their masculinity taken away, and then that being called toxic masculinity. Yeah, I mean, there are many fronts on this battle, and frankly, if designing schools to crack down on shootings and to eliminate the number of casualties helps, then I mean, God bless them for doing it. But it is just a sad reminder of the kind of world we're living in, and a sad reminder of what America is like. Over and out.